Welcome back to On a Mission 6-8 edition, where we highlight those who are in the faith-focused field, who are making a big kingdom impact and honoring God in every way that we can. So I'm just grateful to be at this table. My name is Morgan Yonge, and I'm here with Major Harding, who is on the board of 6-8 Ministries.
I am.
We have Spencer Boulter with 6-8 Ministries, and we have Rich Barrett with Access Church.
Thanks for having me.
A fantastic panel today. So 6-8 has partnered up with Access Church. Can you tell me how you guys found each other and how you guys are working together to move the kingdom forward?
Yeah, a mutual friend told us about 6-8, and Spencer specifically back in 2011, I think it was. We took our first trip and immediately resonated with what they were doing in San Jose. You guys didn't have the ranch yet.
Yeah.
And we have been, my wife and I probably led, I don't know, a dozen international missions trips before we had experienced 6-8. And we immediately identified that 6-8 was doing something just really special in San Jose and then later with the ranch. And the way that they host teams is far and away better than any international experience we'd had before. So we have been back every year since 2017, I think, and we're super excited about the fundraiser this weekend. So we'll have about 18 people from our church there to bid on some things and have some fun and support Spencer and his incredible team. He's got an amazing team down in Costa Rica that they're just, our people look forward to coming back time and time again because of the relationships that are built when you go multiple times. So you should come.
I'll be there.
You should tell everybody
I'm
to
sitting
come.
with Major.
She's coming. Yes.
She's coming Saturday night.
All right, well,
It'll be fun.
And come to Costa Rica also because it is an
Yes.
amazing experience.
I'm pumped about it. So tell us about this event on May 3rd, Bourbon and Barbecue. Share with us.
Absolutely. It's a event that we've had for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's just a fun time for everybody to get together, eat some good food, listen to some live music, play some games, raffles, fundraisers as far as auction items and whatnot. And yeah, it's just a great time to bring everybody in the area together. It is a fundraiser, but it's also a great way to connect everybody and just have a good time and celebrate what God's doing.
That sounds like it's right up my alley for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get some good barbecue and fellowship.
Absolutely.
That's great. So how you've attended Access Church, I'm assuming. So tell me about
And
your
preached at.
experience.
Yeah,
there.
actually, Rich actually trusted me to preach a couple of weeks.
What?
No, my wife and I love Access Church because it is very, very community-based, and you just feel like you're part of the family the minute you walk in, and you just feel connected. And their worship is amazing. They have a young lady that is just so talented, and then the sermons are very, they're deep, but they feel like it's not just heavy theology. It's just really practical stuff. And everybody at the church is just incredibly friendly and welcoming, and it just vibes perfectly with what 6-8 is all about, which is relationship and community. And that's one of our mottos, is the gospel moves forward at the speed of relationship. So I really enjoy the churches where you can go in and just immediately feel like you're part of something and connected to the people.
Yeah, beautiful. We were talking a little bit offset about that heartbeat that you try to create at the church. So can you elaborate on the heartbeat of Access?
Yeah. You know, Access began as a group of people who asked the question, what if people were not just clear on what the church was against, but what if the community was clear on what the church was for? And so we say that we're for St. John's because we're for you, we're for your friends, we're for the people that you love, because we believe that God is for you. And we believe that God's demonstrated that through Jesus, and that church shouldn't be just for church people. In fact, if people, I drive past a golf course every Sunday morning, and I don't even think about stopping there because I'm not a golfer. But we think it would be tragic if people drove past church parking lots and they thought, well, I don't belong there because I'm not a church person. We believe that to follow Jesus is an invitation that's been given to everyone, and so we want everyone, regardless of their background or their biography, to come and to feel like this is a place where they can belong even before they believe. And so we've structured our church always looking through the lens of, how does this feel if I invite my friend, my coworker, my neighbor? Like, we're not trying to just create church for church people. We really want this to be a place where everybody feels welcomed and where they feel like they can have a relationship with other people, where they can have a relationship with God, and ultimately where they can find their purpose in life.
It's an outreach.
It absolutely is, yeah. And we say that, we're a church for Christians. Like, first and foremost, the church is a body of believers, right? But we're a church for Christians who are really passionate about reaching their friends and neighbors who don't yet have a relationship with Jesus. And they've maybe tried in the past to invite a friend or neighbor to church, but maybe even when they think about it, they think, gosh, I don't know if that's really going to go well. But we try to think through all of our environments in the context of what is this going to feel like for folks. And even as we communicate, you mentioned our preaching, we just try to communicate in a way where we recognize that there are people in the room who disagree with us. We give them permission to disagree with us, and we invite them into the conversation. Because there's a lot of people who are, in fact, right now, the Gen Z, 18 to 24-year-olds, they're more interested in spiritual things than any of the older generations. And they're increasing their Bible reading, they're increasing their church attendance. But the question is, like, are they going to find what they're looking for in the traditional church? A lot of them have decided that the traditional church is just telling them what the church is against. And like I said earlier, we want to be known for what we're for, and we're for them.
Yeah. Beautiful. And so, Major, you are on the board of 6-8 Ministries.
I am.
You have known Rich
Since yesterday.
A minute.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
So Spencer had said Rich would be a great guy to have on the show, and so I reached out to him and invited him, and here we are.
Yeah.
Well, I love
Thanks
that.
for having me.
Yeah.
Well, Major, what has it been like to be on the board of 6-8 and to go to Costa Rica with them? What was that experience like?
Incredible. My son was in Spencer's youth group and actually worked for 6-8 from 2009 to 2011. And Spencer went in 2005 on a mission trip and came back and said, I'm selling everything and moving my family to Costa Rica.
Wow.
And I said, really? I said, boy, you smoked some good stuff when you were down in Costa Rica. But anyway, he said, God laid it on my heart. And so I've just been a supporter of Spencer because I love him dearly, and just wanted to get involved. Business background, so I could offer those skill set to the ministry, and just a love of the people there. Has been going since 2011, I think, about the first time, and then we purchased the ranch property in 2012 and 13, and actually broke ground on, in 14. With a family trip from my family. So it's just been a great journey, and I'm proud to be associated with them, and I just love what we're doing, the 600-700 meals that we feed every week. I mean, there's such a need, and Spencer's been an incredible leader putting together this team that he's got that Rich mentioned. So it's just been beautiful, and 20 years coming up this year of honoring God.
Morgan, Spencer mentioned the relational dynamic at Access Church, but when you go to Costa Rica, and you have to go because it is such a great experience, you can sense the relational investment that's been made by Spencer and his team in the community. When you walk through the different neighborhoods, it is amazing, the families, the kids that just come running out to greet you. And it might be your first time in Costa Rica, but you benefit from all the relational groundwork that's been laid by Spencer's team. And so when you show up, they treat you like, you're immediately a friend, and you have the opportunity to do, whether it's a VBS style thing or just playing soccer in the streets, or our team does a lot of fun. We do a soccer camp, which is hilarious because I cannot play soccer, but we have one guy on our team who helps to coordinate that. But all of it is designed really to develop these relationships that then turn into some long-term. You've probably talked about Ashley and some others on your team that, I think Ashley was like 11 the first time I met her, and now she's part of your staff, and she's doing this. So it's not just let's go down for a week and a bunch of gringos can feel better about themselves because they went to Central America. This is like long-standing, long-term relationships where lives are being changed, family trees are being changed. It's pretty amazing.
That is incredible. And you do partner with 6-8, but you also have a couple other partners with Access Church.
Yeah, we love to partner locally with organizations that are doing what we can't do as a church in this community. When we were located in Duval County, we did a lot with Sanctuary at 8th Street, a fantastic organization. We relocated in 2017 to St. Johns County because that's where all of our growth was coming from. And so we now partner a lot with the Homeless Coalition and Deborah Redding. Those guys are doing a fantastic work in St. Augustine, and then also with Seamark Ranch. So we try to, we're rich, And we say that all the time to our folks, like, if you look around northern St. Johns County where we live, we're incredibly affluent, and we have a responsibility to give back to the community. But in the middle of that, recognizing that the real need that people have isn't material, it's spiritual. And so all of that is just an opportunity for us to kind of open the door and initiate a conversation where we can talk about the difference that Jesus can make in people's lives.
Oh, so beautiful. And so I'm with 3 very obedient men who have stayed true to the word and followed the word. Can you share with me how you have relied on Jesus to find that courage? I'll start with you.
How I've relied on Jesus to find the courage to
be
just
obedient in your ministry and in being a pastor.
Great question.
That's
it is a
bold.
question,
Not
but it's
easy.
funny. Like, I don't know that I've ever thought of as courageous. So that's probably the word I'm getting hung up on.
Yeah.
I just find it to be an incredible privilege. You know, when I was 16 years old, a really persuasive pastor made a very non-emotional plea to a room full of high school students, and he didn't play on our emotions. He just said, look, you've got one life to invest. And what is going to give you a better return for your investment than to invest in what God is doing in the world and to join him on the mission of helping people understand the grace and the truth and the freedom that's available through Jesus Christ. And so to me, it just kind of made sense. And some people feel a very strong calling. I just volunteered that day and said, that's how I want to invest my life.
I'm signing up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, I don't know, courage doesn't feel like it factors in a lot, or that I Spencer or I would see ourselves as courageous people, but we just try to get up each day and do the next best thing to follow Jesus and hopefully invite some other people into the journey.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Spencer?
I would agree with all of that. I don't know that I ever felt courageous,
Okay.
but God is so gracious and so merciful that first step, you just say yes. Like, that's what a lot of people just need to do, is they just need to say yes and do something, even if it's something as small as greeting people at church or working in the nursery or whatever.
Just baby steps.
Right. And then as you do that, he says, look, I've got this. And then that helps you take the next bigger step and then the next bigger step. So I don't know that I ever had a moment where I felt courageous. Even moving to Costa Rica, like Major mentioned, I just felt like God's calling me to do this. And if he's calling me to do it, it won't fail.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really courage. It was just more obedience and just saying,
Awesome.
okay, if he's doing this, then it's not going to fail.
Yeah, 100%. Major?
So I like to say the 3 F's: faith, family, and friends. And Jesus is the core of all of it. So, try to just be obedient, try to listen, be open-minded, not be opinionated, and and surround myself with quality individuals like this and you. So, we pray here at the studio.
We do.
We talk about our faith, we talk about our struggles, we talk about rabbit holes we've been in, and so, but it all honors God at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like that song, or in Psalms actually, is taste and see.
Yes.
Taste and see that the Lord is good. Just take that one baby step and then.
And the gospel
It's
is more
beautiful.
addictive than anything.
Oh,
If you take that first
so
little
addicting.
bite, you just got to have more.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
it's the
what's
only
so
thing that fulfills too.
right.
So
Exactly.
good thing we're taking bites.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for the amazing work that you're both doing. Thank you for your support as always. It's a privilege to interview you guys, and so I'm very grateful for today. Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thanks for having
Thank you,
Yes.
Morgan.
And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of On a Mission 6-8 Edition. If you want more information about 6-8 Ministries and Access Church, you can head on over to dailynewsnetwork.com. We have it all right there. We'll see you in the next episode of On a Mission 6-8 Edition.